close us out tonight, I'd like to invite someone who, yes, is my boss, but I'll be honest, I first met him as my friend. He's actually my friend's brother-in-law. That's how I met him. Chris Byrd serves as our executive director, but I know through our friendship that he's a good man. Please come forward, brother.
Thanks, Jesse. I hope you've gotten a little bit of a picture tonight of how we're trying to build bridges where people can come together to see and to share the love of God. So as we wrap up tonight, what I want to do is just give you a little bit of my story, my experience in being connected with Downtown Ministries. Many of you know Catherine and I moved here in 2018. I had a full career where I was, and I was really fulfilled. I had a great career. I had lots of super opportunities to lead organizations, opportunities to lead people, opportunities to serve on boards of really healthy, strong, producing nonprofit organizations. And I thought, I was really happy to say, okay, I can finish that, then I can move to Athens and in some ways join an organization that's doing a lot of good work. And in some ways put a little capstone on my career and say that, I'm really thankful for all the things that I got to do. I got to be a part of what God's doing, and just to be a part of seeing God's kingdom of love brought to people. And so all the things that you've heard about tonight, I saw before I moved here, and then once we moved here, I got really encouraged to see some things to see lives changed, to see children invested in, and work to help prepare them not just for the next year, but to help prepare them for life. And then when some leaders in our community came to us and asked us if we would consider giving some leadership to Our Daily Bread, we prayed through that thoroughly and believed that God was, that's what we should do. To come alongside some of the most vulnerable people in our city and seek to love them and serve them and bring to them the hope that comes from the gospel of Jesus Christ. So all these things are really exciting, but where we are now, Jesse talked about us being stretched and pulled and being molded or shaped for something new. That's true. Because in addition to all these exciting good things, there have been a lot of disappointments. Over the last year, we began exploring the possibility of purchasing some land that would enable us to build a place for the school. If I can have the next slide, you can see some of the things that we were working toward. We got far along in this process of dreaming about what it would look like to bring all of our ministry efforts together in one place. We had a tremendous, generous gift that enabled us to even think and begin to dream about that. But we went through a long process, and at the end of it, and the due diligence portions of it, it ended up not happening. It was really disappointing to us. Another thing is when we talk about literacy, you've heard about the Downtown Reading Clinic, and for those of you who have been to multiple one of these banquets in 2019, Karen Vogelsang came and spoke and talked about what they're doing in Memphis, Tennessee to, in essence, try to lift up a community and work toward almost a reading revival in their city. And we have a crisis around literacy in our city. And literacy is the absolute key to a good education. If you can't read well, your ability to receive and achieve a great education is non-existent. So we started dreaming about how do we get in, how do we engage in this area? How do we serve in this area? And so we've been working for the last couple of years talking to other nonprofits, connecting with the school district, talking to other leaders in the community about this issue. And over the last few weeks, for a few months, it seems like the dream that we had of a community coming together to solve a critical problem is actually starting to happen. You're probably all familiar with Creature Comforts and Get Comfortable program. They're shifting their whole program to focus on solving the problem or addressing the problem of third grade literacy. So we were all excited about that. Just a couple of weeks ago, Karen Vogelsang was in town, spoke to 420 business leaders in the community at the annual meeting of the chamber. And we were so excited. We might get to be a part of this. But guess what? We applied to be an agency partner with Creature Comforts in that effort, and we didn't get selected. It's a huge disappointment. So, what's the takeaway from all that? I love this work. But the last 3 years have been the most challenging years of my professional career. And the reason it's become so challenging is I believe God is asking me and challenging me to grow and change to be a better leader. Why did these disappointments hit me so hard? Why was it so difficult to learn that this thing that we dreamed about happening and worked for to help be a part of at least spearheading just some of those conversations, why didn't we get selected? But not only why did we not get selected, why did it hit me so hard? And it's really painful to stand in front of you and confess that, in all honesty, there's part of me, I wanted to be the guy. I wanted to be able to look back and say, yeah, I think Chris, he's one of the leaders. He's one of the instigators. He's one of the movers and shakers here. And it's so painful for me to admit, and I've admitted this to my wife, I've admitted this to my friends, and I've admitted this to our team, and I'm admitting it to you, that while some of my motivations were great, there were also some of my motivations that were, I want to be important. I want to be a part of making it happen. So I've had to put down my pride in my accomplishments before I got here. I've had to learn, and in some ways it's just starting, really, of learning new skills to lead in the right way, to lead in a different way, to not so much decide what I want to see happen, but to be really skilled at following God's lead, at listening to God, to trusting Him, to obeying Him, to doing the things that He asked me to do. So God has been stretching me personally, challenging me, teaching me, and trying to help me grow as a leader. And this might sound odd because of just how painful this process can be at times. I am very excited about that because I think God may be preparing to do more for us. Because He's doing this for us as an organization too. We've been through some changes over the last year. We've been focusing on 3 priorities: a clearer vision, deeper engagement, and stronger partnerships. Because I think as we've grown and as we've taken on more efforts, and in some ways you watch some of these videos and you see some of these challenges, you think, wow, we're doing a lot. But the things that binds that together, a clear vision, is we think we need to really grow in that. And we believe that God is giving us that clear vision for who we should be and how we should be and how we should work in the future. I believe He's improving our culture as an organization, ensuring that we're an organization that doesn't just run programs, but continues to deeply engage in the lives of people. That's what we want to do and be. And as Jesse said, He's bringing us people with the same heartbeat, the same desire to see the love of God and the hope of Jesus Christ spread throughout the city. And so this has got me excited too. So to sum up where we are this season, it's really a season of pruning. I feel like in some ways God's doing that for us. The book of John says that every branch that bears fruit, He prunes so that it will bear more fruit. So we've borne some fruit over the years, but I believe God wants us to bear more fruit. He's working to make us better soil so that we will build a stronger organization and will bear more fruit in the days ahead. There are some verses that have been very important to me over the years, and I'll close with this. Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. It says that, and you think about legacy of hope, it says, we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. But we also rejoice in our sufferings, because suffering produces perseverance. And perseverance produces proven character. And proven character produces hope. And hope does not disappoint, because God has poured out His love in our hearts through the Holy Spirit He's given us. So we believe that the love that God has given us, He wants us to be a place that builds bridges where people can see and share and enjoy the love of God. And that's what, if you invest with us in your time, in your prayers, in your volunteering, in your serving, or invest with us financially, this is what you're investing in. So it feels like we're on a journey. So as you've seen tonight, we could not have the impact of all that we've had over the years and the impact that we want to have in the future without your partnership with us. So we'd like you to continue to partner us as we continue trying to build bridges. So if you look at the on your tables, there's some envelopes. There's an envelope there that within there has some pledge cards that you can use and some pins to look at different ways that you can partner with us. As I mentioned, you can partner with us really primarily in 3 ways. You can pray, and we do covet and beg you for your prayers, because we're becoming more and more convinced that unless the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain who build it. You can serve. There are ways that you can join that bridge and possibly make connections that you might not naturally be able to make in any other way in our city. And then finally, give. Your financial gifts will enable us to continue to build bridges. It'll help us continue to get better as an organization. And I believe it will prepare us even more to continue to help people see and share and experience the love of God. So take a few minutes, and if you would look at that and consider that, and after that, just a couple of minutes, we'll close our program. But I do want to thank you again for being with us tonight. You braved the weather to get in through the 100% chance of rain at 5:30, and we thank you for that. Thanks for, again, coming out and joining us. So take just a minute, and then we'll close our program in just a couple of minutes. Thank you.